Is that any better, folks? Hello? Is it back yet?
I don't know.
Are you watching?
It stops when I'm on the phone to you.
Well, get up and send me a... Oh, we've got sound now. Yes, good stuff. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that, folks. Glitch in the restream program, it seems to have been. Right, okay. Get back to what I was saying then. Now, I want to thank you all for your kind words on the passing of Buster. As you know, pets are more than... They're members of the family and they're your friends. You know. So, thanks very much for your kind words. Now, let's go on with the show because we're running behind because of the sound problems and the technical problems. So, it's Indie Truck Davy on the 18th to 11th, 2024, and I'm at home in my office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it's a beautiful morning, crisp, frosty, cold, -2 degrees, which is what it should be for this time of year. Last week was bloody balmy. Last Wednesday got up to 16 degrees here. November. Global warming's definitely kicking in, folks. Right, let's go on with this. Okay, as I say, on the 18th of 11th, 2024, we're going to start off with the Scotsman. Now, this one, as you know, gets right up my fucking snazzer, folks. And I'm starting off right away. This is an attack on the SNP government, and I'll explain it to you in a minute. But let's put this up. No, hold on. Here we go. The Scotsman. Now, the title on the top there is Killer Road. Major new series on A9 begins with spotlight on human cost of failure to dual notorious route. Now, folks, I travelled that road up to about 2 years ago, 8 times a month or more. Like all roads, there are no killer roads, there are no bad roads. I have driven that A9 from start to finish thousands upon thousands of times. There's nothing wrong with the fucking road. Nothing. Great road, actually. Absolutely nothing wrong with road. Roads don't kill. Poorly maintained vehicles and bad driving, inattention and inability to drive to road conditions kill. Roads are inanimate objects. Big, long fucking ribbons of tarmac. They do not kill. This story is an attack on the Scottish Government. What they don't mention is that when the decision to dual the A9 was made, when Alex Salmond was First Minister, the funding was there. In fact, the funding was there and it was going ahead. Then it had to be stopped to go in increments. Why? Because that shower of fucking half-wits down the road took an already weak economy and fucking wrecked it, which meant budgets right across the board were slack, including for the devolved administrations. There is nothing wrong with that road. This is an attack on the Scottish Government and an outright lie to the people. Roads do not kill. And the A9 is a damn fine road. Love driving it. Scenery's gorgeous. I've been driving that road for 30 years. It's a fucking great road. Roads don't kill. Maintain your vehicle, keep your wits about you, learn to fucking drive to the conditions. Then you'll stay alive. but roads don't kill. Get this straight. You can take it from me. I'm called Indie Truck Davy for a reason. I've been a professional driver most of my fucking adult life. I've never seen a road rise up and hurt any fucker. Nobody. It's an inanimate object. It doesn't hurt anybody. Anytime you see the title Killer Road, no matter which road it refers to, you know that it's a lie. Inanimate objects, ribbons of tarmac, do not get up and smite people. Roads don't kill. Take it from me, being a professional driver all my bloody life. This nonsense, it annoys me. Right, the main headline. And the Scotsman is Flynn admits backlash over two-seat plan not pleasant. Flynn wants to run for Aberdeen South in North Kincardine at the Scottish Parliament, apparently. And a sitting MP, Audrey Nicholl, may not wish to stand aside. We'll get a wee bit more of that in the next headline. Next up will be the Scottish Daily Fail. Yeah, where are we? He says up with the bloody tap now. I set these things out in order, and every time I go into Restream to share them, it bloody well changes every time. Right, the Scottish Daily Fail. Here we go. SNP torn apart by civil war over Flynn's lies jib. Now what's this about? There's no infighting here in the SNP. Yep, Stephen wants to come up this road. Yep, Stephen wants to make a bid for the leadership. He's an ambitious man. Do we need a new leader? Of course we do. There's no civil war in the SNP. Stephen and Audrey have been working together for years. They talk all the time. They'll work it out. They'll work it out. Whether she stands down or no. There might have to be a hustings contest for a selection process. Maybe the people will want to select him. What I do know is the reason for this nonsense in the press is not because of a civil war in the SNP. It's because the state's shite scared that Stephen might come up this road and take over the SNP and take it back to where it was and demand to leave this union. That's what this is all about. But I can assure you, sitting on the inside of the SNP and talking to other members, I don't see any civil war going on. Near a day. And I don't see Mr. Swinney making that much noise about it. And whether he can stand for two seats, I've explained this already, we need to change the rules. So we'll find out if the party wants him up the road when it gets to conference, where we'll have to change the rules to allow him to stand. Right, we'll stop sharing that one. We'll not sharing the next one. The next one, the record has calls to stop costly fares after just 2% sell. And apparently only 2% of first class tickets in ScotRail sell. Oh, Chrissy, I hope you're feeling better, son. I know you're in hospital. Now, the Greens say that this is a waste because 150,000 seats a month are going on unsold. And having empty carriages causes crowding on trains. So if you're not selling first class tickets, do away with it. Fill the train up with people who want to travel. So I'll have to agree with the Greens on this one. Right, the Herald has charities fear for young and assisted dying legislation. Now, I'm not getting into this one, folks. I really ain't. I can see the pros and cons of it. But I can also see the pitfalls where unscrupulous people would put pressure on relatives that they see to be a burden to shuffle off this mortal coil. So I can see both sides, but I'm not getting into it. Right, the Sun has gang on royal estate, Windsor raid as Wills, Kates and kids slept. Who gives a fuck? Their gilded cage is surrounded by security. Anyway, as it turns out, masked men robbed a property on the Windsor estate. The Windsor estate is fucking massive. You know what it is? Groundkeeper's Willie's shed will have been fucking stolen, so he'll be looking for a new hovel to live in. After all, they are slum landlords. That's right. The king and his son are slum landlords. You couldn't make it up. Right, the Times tells us young jobless told take up training or face losing benefits. Forced labour will be back. Do you know, I don't know how long it is since a government, when it comes to youth unemployment, has had an original fucking idea. So the YTS scheme will be back, folks. Or the Youth Opportunity Programme, whatever they're going to call it this fucking time. But what happens is, training is not provided. What happens is, these kids are subbed out to some private company that shows them how to fill out a CV, and then they're then further farmed out to companies on a 16-week work trial, allegedly to get them into the habit of going to work, as if they weren't already in the habit of getting up for school anyway. And then at the end of these 16 weeks, the employers lay them off. Nah, I don't need you, son. And then the employers go back to that third sector company who fires out the CVs and takes another draft of cheap fucking labour. The government shouldn't demand that young people go into training programmes unless they are providing proper training programmes by the government, funded by the government, which are actually going to train kids to do a specific skill. But what happens is they all end up in retail and restaurants and factory outlets working for their unemployment benefit on rotating cycles of 16 weeks. Rotating cycles of 16 weeks. So they might end up in cheap labour 6 months of the year. Right. So, not an original fucking idea in their heads doing that road. None. Cheap labour will be back, the Times tells us. The other thing the Times tells us is the Department of Work and Pension, well, apparently that is it. That's what the Times tells us. You're still forced into work. And the Telegraph has Biden gives green light for strikes in Russia. Biden has told Zelensky, yep, you can use American long-range weapons to strike into Russia. Now we know what Russia said. Russia said that would be seen as an act of war by whatever states long-range missiles are fired. Wow. The other headline is, farmers have nothing to lose in tax protests amid fears for food supplies. Do you really want to fuck with the farmers? Problems of getting fresh produce and foods into the EU means we already have less available on our shelves when it comes to selection. And do they want to fuck with the farmers? The farmers are threatening to withhold the food supply, no grow food. I can't see this ending well. For a couple of £1 million. Get up, Labour. People need to eat. Right, I'm going to put a national up. If I can find the bloody thing. Jesus Christ, where have I put it? I'm not going here somewhere. Here we go. The National Fund response to anger at Holyrood bid. They say no anger for the membership. Audrey might not be chuffed that he's wanting to take the seat, but hey ho. And apparently a couple of retired NHS workers raised 30,000 for Palestinians. Well done, retired NHS workers. And independent spending must not be axed. And that's the Greens. That's what they want to pass the Scottish budget. They want the SNP to keep up the spend on informing the people how much better Scotland would be after independence, or how we would do it. Okay. And apparently the Royals and their ownership of Balmoral is holding up land reform here in Scotland because they keep asking for exemptions for these laws. Okay. The medical goes on. Week at the freeze. Week at the freeze? What sort of fucking language is that? Week at the freeze. And apparently we're going to get snow in November. Fucking snow in November. We should have snow in November. The notion that it was 16 degrees in Taps Half last week is fucking mental. I'll need to learn how to do that. Either that or just leave it up as a ticker tape and that way I'll be able to find it. Anyway, the eye has move as close as possible to EU and Brexit reset business bosses urge Starmer. People are slow and fucking stupid. So they are. So I'm going to explain what's went on over the last 50 years for those who don't understand what has been going on. Okay, this isn't going to take long because when it's explained to you, it's easier to understand. Since Thatcher, they've deliberately been making people poorer. Why? Because poor people are reliant on the state and that makes them easy to control. Now, the 1% with power, privilege and patronage is tightening their grip on control. And that same thing applies to the new YTS scheme which is coming up to force kids into cheap labour. Poor people are easy to manipulate because they're desperate. And the state's been doing that for 50 fucking years. And now that they've got that control, where the UK is now verging on third world, they're starting to pick away at your human rights the way they do in third world countries. People are as thick as fuck, and they have very short memories. I've been watching this for 50 years, and I'm only 57. I have seen no improvement in living standards, relatively, in my time on this planet. None. They have been deliberately. In fact, they've increased the pace of it since 2008, impoverishing people, because poor people are easy to control. And once you have control of them, you can exploit them any way you fucking want. I hope that clears things up for those of you who haven't been watching for 50 years. I mean, it was not enough for a few grannies to freeze to death in the winter. They want to accelerate that. It wasn't enough for a few people to die because they fell through the cracks in the NHS. No! Let's just ruin the fucking NHS. You're right, DJ Marjimu. Apprenticeships are a better option than YTS, but that's not what you're getting. You're going to get your children exploited in order to get their benefits. I remember YTS1, YTS2, and the YOP, the Youth Opportunities Programme. They just fucking exploited kids and gave it no fucking skills whatsoever. As I say, but if you want to really know what's happening, you've been made poorer, you've been manipulated so that you can be controlled easier. And now that they've got you to that point, they're stripping away your human rights. Fucking muppets. Because people who are quite affluent can challenge authority. They can afford to go to the courts. Us, nothing. As I say, you ever seen that diagram with the people under this big fucking table and the rich are all sat there dining and whining? That's a correct illustration, folks. Still not. And the whole fucking lot topples over. The whole fucking lot. Right, what's the star vote for us today? Shall we have a wee look? Because you know how Davey likes a star. Davey likes a star. So let's have a look and see what the stars vote for us today. Jungle stars warned to beware of hairy beasts. I am a celeb yeti, get me out of here. Now, I found that one quite interesting, actually. You know, I thought, even for a star, that's treating people with contempt. You know, because let's face it, the jungle's full of fucking hairy beasties. But it's not just the hairy beasties you have to watch out for. You might want to watch out for the scaled beasties, the invertebrates, the insects, and they tell me the arachnids can be quite fucking tasty as well. And I don't mean to eat. So, celebs, I've never watched it, no interested. I doubt there'll be a yeti in there coming to get you. But every other fucking creepy crawly beastie in there will have a go if you get a chance. So there you go. What a stupid headline, but it's what we get for the star. The star is the start of every day. So it is. Although I'm a bit disappointed that it wasn't a boffin that was telling them to be careful of hairy beasties while in the jungle. You're going for the money, and so you'll not be watching. Naughty Step will be waiting in your bahookie when you get back, alright? And I have lit the candle. Aye, well, there's some absolute fucking nonsense in our press again today. Maybe we should do a special and cover the English nonsense and see what's in the English rags for a wee changer. But what nonsense is in our rags? Roads don't kill. Oh, they're going for the money now. Roads don't kill. There's no civil war in the SNP. Yep, 150,000 seats lying empty on trains each month is a fucking stupid idea. Get away with first class. Kids to be forced into slave labour. And farmers are pissed off, so the food supply is going to get tighter. You couldn't make it up. But hey ho. Apparently, there's some hairy beasties in the jungle. Wonderful stuff. See you all this afternoon at 4 o'clock. You bought the star, didn't you, Chris? Yeah. I've done that a few times myself just for a laugh. A good comic. Right, look after yourself. Catch you later. Somebody's phoning the wife, so I better go and answer her phone for her. See you.